Two, one.
And good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in podcast land. Brendan Cunningham, the real estate doctor at EXP. With me, Matt Paul. We're going to talk about it all today. We really are going to. We're going to scare you today. Really scary stuff.
Yeah. Interesting. Very
Interesting
interesting.
stuff. Hey, I went fishing this morning. Can't be all bad. I got
No,
10 walleye before I got here.
that's an
Thank you very
amazing
much.
day. That's a good.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not a bad day. I'm going to go home and cook a walleye tonight. I think I'll throw another barbecue. Or something
There you
like
go.
that.
You should. It's gonna be tasty.
Just one of the other wonderful things that we have about summer in Western.
We actually have the best freshwater fishing in the U.S. here.
You know what? And with Lake Erie, it not only does it give us one of the largest collections of fresh water in the free world within a 5-minute drive. Not only does that, but it's like becoming the scuba diving capital of the world.
Yep.
One of the guys I was with, who's also a fisherman, but he's a scuba diver, says, "Oh yeah, the wrecks are amazing," and that's because the zebra mussel.
Yeah. Yep.
And fishing is a big deal up here.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, it's
like,
huge.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Huge.
there's tournaments, the smelt festival, all the
The
stuff.
dams, the rivers. I mean, the salmon run and Burke Dam.
My barber sells bait. I think he sells
At his
more bait
barbershop?
than in the barbershop.
Wow.
I look and said, "You guys sell this is crazy." He says, "Hey, you'd be surprised. It sort of goes together." I said, "It does."
Really? Oh.
So this crazy stuff. All right, I want to open the show with something that I was confronted with today, and not today, yesterday. And question. And I said, there's some extra layers in this onion.
Yep. For sure. Hot topic right now, though.
You buy a house and you want to have a mortgage on the property.
Mhm.
It's obvious that the bank is going to want to make sure that their position is secure, as much as they may want to represent your position too. They're really more concerned about their own, getting their money out.
Yep.
So they're going to send out a guy called an appraisal. Okay.
We had one of those on the show one time.
And we've had, we had a really good appraisal.
Jim Knight. Yep.
Okay. So they send an appraiser out from the bank. The bank insists that they go. This is not an option for them. They want to know.
Yep.
But are they working for the bank? Well, I guess they are, but who hired them?
The buyers pay for it.
The buyers pay for it. So really the buyers are paying for it. And here's why the question comes up, or what the situation was. The appraiser goes in on his own, as sometimes they do. And he does a good job on the appraisal, I guess. But one of the things he did, or probably forgot to do, was he forgot to check not just the lights, which he may have left on, but there was a dog in the house. A very nice dog, I'm told. A nice yellow lab. But it was indoors all day and needed to go out. And he somehow mysteriously closed the door behind him in the dining room. The dog flips out because no one's getting home till 5 o'clock. This guy went in about 11 o'clock. And next thing you know, the dog is tearing through the rich Corinthian leather and the wood paneling. And it did a job. It did a job. So the question was posed to me, well, whose fault is it? And I said, that's a good question. It's sort of related to the other question that goes with it. Whose responsibility is it? Those are two different answers.
Absolutely. Yep.
And I'm not sure that those are the right questions.
I agree.
And here's why. Well, what are we asking? Who's going to pay for the damages? Because that's what it came down to. It was a damages situation. Okay? And everybody wants to take everyone to jail, to court.
Yeah.
Everyone goes to court.
Yeah.
The problem is, whatever it was probably going to be a small claims item at best, you know, even though it looked horrific. And I said to myself, this could never have happened with me. And it goes to the concept of something that we all talk about a lot. It's like the weather. Everyone talks about it, but no one does a lot about it.
You can't do much about the weather.
No. And it's the whole idea of being a fiduciary. If I'm a fiduciary, it's a relationship that implies great trust. Now, one of the things that we do is we have to check off the fiduciary responsibilities.
Correct.
Because we're not the brightest guys in the world, we have an acronym. It's called the old CAR: obedience, loyalty, confidentiality, which that one almost goes out the window all the time. That's a whole other story. Obedience, loyalty, due diligence. Due diligence, confidentiality, accountability, and the R, reasonable care. And I said to myself, actually I said to the person asking the question, I said, yeah, this could never have happened with me. And they said, well, why? And I said, well, because I believe that I know I'm supposed to be a fiduciary. And one of the things that I believe is reasonable care is that if I'm the listing agent,
Mhm.
I'm not obligated to escort
No.
the appraiser, but it's reasonable care for me just in case somebody screws up. And that's why I do it. I've never really thought about it. I always go there. Now, one of the things I do,
So you're doing this prior to even knowing that these,
yeah, I didn't know. I said,
it's part of your value
I said,
package.
this could never have happened to me. And I'm trying to figure out why it happened to them, because they said, well, I don't have to do it, and they can just let people go through. We have lock boxes
Yep.
on properties. That's a whole other thing. And a lot of times appraisers will use the lockbox to go through it and look at the property. And I would always accompany the guy. And part of the reason why I would do it is because I wanted to humanize myself
Mhm.
with the appraiser. I'm not trying to lead the witness here and get a better number, but sometimes I'll say, listen, if you need, I have comps from my market analysis. I'm not trying. Obviously, you got your own
Yeah,
stuff,
I'm not trying
but
to tell you how to do your job.
but if you need a written copy of the survey, I have one too. They always want a copy of the survey.
Yep.
They can get one on their own. They can look it up. But if I give it to them, it's an extra thing. It's harder to not have the property appraised if I'm nice to them.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons why I do it. But I also think I do it because I don't want people walking in the house that don't have the same accountability that I do.
Yep. I agree.
So I said to myself, it's interesting, this whole thing about reasonable care. I said, I know there are different people, and you do it. You're on the same page as I am, because we think the same way.
Yep.
And you probably go out to dinner every once in a while, someplace fancy, right? I happen to think Russell's is probably the best steakhouse in town.
Okay.
It's an opinion.
Yep.
But even if it's not the best, it's probably the best service.
Yep.
And why?
Because their attention to detail, everything.
And why?
Right.
Whose name's on the market?
Yeah. Russell.
Yep. Russell Salvatore. This guy is the best.
Mm-hmm.
I happen to be in there when he's always there. He lives there.
Yeah.
Literally. He lives in one of the hotel rooms up there. Availability. He's always around. And one day it proved the reason why this guy's service was so outstanding. He doesn't have to do this, but he's there every night. Mm-hmm. And one day he had something, I don't know, he broke his leg, he broke his knee, something, and he was going from table to table on a lark.
Really?
Saying, so how's your dinner? Is it good? Oh, great. Oh, what's that? Another bottle of it, whatever. And I said, this is why this guy is a legend. He's a legend. Yep. So that's that reasonable care thing. But as I started to think about it, what we do is not reasonable care for somebody else.
Yeah.
It's reasonable care for us. I mean, because we just kind of take care of it.
Yes. Yep. I would say it's reasonable care to the seller. If you're looking,
it's certainly it's appreciated.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes, yep.
It's if they know about it, it's appreciated. But otherwise, they just think everyone does it. But everyone doesn't do it.
Yep.
And I think somebody pointed out to us the other day, the reason why we don't have challenges is because we anticipate the problem before it happens.
Yep.
Because if you anticipate the problem before it happens, first of all, the problem almost doesn't always, it won't even come up, but you can address it that much more easily.
Then you're coming up with solutions before it even happens.
Solutions. You're not trying to head it off. We are heading it off at the pass before they get there.
Correct. Yep.
That's what we think is reasonable care. Now, unfortunately, we live at a time where, tell me if I'm wrong, most people want to do the minimum.
Yeah.
What can I do to just get by? And I don't think that's the deal.
That's not the way I was raised.
And frankly, we make money when we sell properties. Mm-hmm. And some people say, well, you make a lot of money. Then we should earn it.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you earn it? I think if you go way above and beyond the call of duty, if that's what your reasonable care is, then I think you've got something.
I agree. 100%.
And we just take it for granted. And one of the things I think I mentioned, I teach a course at the association. I'm selling real estate involved all the time. So I talk to the agents, and one of the things I say is, okay, how long have you, anyone jump in on this? If you've been in this more than 6 months and you've sold one house, you can play the game.
Yep.
How many know an agent that you never want to do a deal with? Everyone just don't. I put that in, but just don't tell me the name.
Yeah.
And even the person that's been in it's already happened to them, because I think our business, like lots of other things, people are tending to do they're doing less.
Yeah.
They're doing
the bare minimum.
The bare minimum.
Yep.
And I don't know that that's what people want.
Yep. Yeah, but that, with that situation or that example, had you been there, had the listing agent been there, they would have known the dog would have been in the house to either let it out or to not close the doors because it has some kind of a
Yeah.
panic, situation, and yeah,
Dog
it's
panicked.
yeah. And a lot of dogs do,
I love
I mean,
dogs.
yeah,
A lot of
they
dogs.
get cooped up, they get worked up,
I mean,
and
I would
nobody
get
can
cooped
calm
up.
down.
I mean,
Yep.
I've not trained my dogs to be crate trained, but everybody says, "Oh, it's a good thing." My daughter's dogs are crate trained. They go right in
My
and
dogs were all crate trained
and,
when I
and
had them.
yeah,
Yep.
I mean, that's probably the better way to go. I didn't do that.
Well, when I would let my dogs out from the cage and leave them, they would destroy the house.
They're crazy.
If
Yeah,
I
they get.
left them in the cage, they were calm, mellow, and that was their home. So,
Yeah, it was their little house. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's interesting how that works.
But yeah, and we were talking prior to getting on the show here that I just had a couple clients, some listings in the past few weeks that have had appraisals on them, and both of my clients wanted me to remove the lock boxes, two separate properties, two separate clients, clients, and I did. I went over there and they explained why would you want to leave a lockbox on until
Right.
closing, and I said because of the access for the appraisal and the access for the final walkthrough. And I said, it's not a problem. I'll just meet the appraiser and I'll meet the list or the buyer's agent at the final walkthrough. And both of my clients said, no, you don't need to do that. I'm going to be here. You don't have to be present for the appraisal. And, the one went great. The other one, my client got a little creeped out by the guy, that was there. And had I been there, I think I would have made her feel a little bit more comfortable.
I had some, and this happens. I had an agent use the lockbox once, and I don't know how this happens, but they do, and she lost the key.
Oh,
Okay,
geez. Yeah.
and not only did she lose the key, but she compounded the problem because she locked the screen door. And most people that I know that have screen doors, storm doors, they do not have keys to those doors. No one does.
Lock that
You
door.
immediately lose that key.
Yeah.
And that was the case. Well, yes, the agent that was guilty of the infraction was very apologetic, but I paid to have a locksmith come out and take care of the things so that the people could get back into their house.
Yeah, which is still an inconvenience of time, money, everything.
Okay. Well, yeah, and I mean, eventually the agent reimbursed me. It was like a year later. That the point is, I took care of the client, and it never even dawned on me that I'm going to not do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, it makes us all look better. But yeah, so the lockbooks and reasonable care. Maybe I'm above and beyond the call of duty, but I think that's what I would want.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm neurotic on the lockbox too. I would say.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, we have the electronic boxes and we have the number boxes.
Yep.
And the only reason why I think we still have the numbered boxes, especially because down places like in our southern tier, the cell towers work on our electronic boxes.
Yeah.
That's why I think they still have them. But I would never use one over the electronic box because the electronic box is secure. I know when that the appraiser's gone in.
Yep.
I know when he's got it. I know how long he stayed there, and I know when he left.
And you know their name, their number, their license number. It sends
bang, boom, the whole mushroom. It's all good.
Yep.
And I just think that's part of the reasonable care thing. I would not want to have the mechanical box because not that people do this, but that they do. Maybe they're looking over the agent's shoulder when the guy's doing 397, and now all of a sudden they got the number thing going in.
When I started in the business, the electronic ones were new, but they were expensive. A lot of agents weren't using them, and it was a lot of combos. And I remember a couple not clients, but other agents in my office that would just say, "Oh yeah, here's the combo. If you like it, let me know, and I'll bring you through it." So
real casual.
A lot of unaccompanied buyers and investors and properties, which is a big no-no. That's the main reason why I don't.
I was delighted when the electronic boxes came out because when we had the lock boxes, they were the kind of like you did in Gym Locker.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the combo. Thing. Yeah.
But they all came from the factory with SPI. Must have been something in it, and nobody changed those.
Yeah.
They told you change this. Nobody. I never met one that wasn't SPI. All over the Eastern Seaboard, any agent could go in and back when I wrote my first book, I was talking about what agents do. I put that in there, and the editor took it out.
Oh wow!
He says, "Sounds like you're trying to encourage people to steal from these houses." I said, I'm not, but these guys are leaving us open for this.
You're right.
You got to change the lockbox. You got to do that.
I did a couple deals in the Adirondacks on White Lake, and they all had SPI.
Bingo,
you're right. It was the same listing agent.
It's not good. It's like reasonable care.
Let me guess how to get into that one.
My reasonable is a lot more reasonable than some of these other things. But yeah, so
yep.
we are hired to do difficult jobs that don't seem obvious sometimes because they go above and beyond what you think it is.
Yes. Yep. But
And
we do it instinctively. Like you've been
we
doing,
do,
you've been
yeah.
doing this without even, without even a reason
Like
other
I
than,
do it
I mean,
and I
you
forgot
better,
even to know why am I doing it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, well,
It's your fiduciary. You want to bring
well, yeah,
value.
because
Yep.
it's been so ingrained in us.
But it's good to be different, right? And
But I guess,
especially
yeah,
in
so
that
I'm gonna
way.
keep doing it the right way. Unless these other schmoes do it the wrong way, they're gonna make me look good.
Yeah.
Or
Yep.
my guts
Yep.
look good.
Yep. Yep. I know you'll
Yeah.
always be making your sellers happy when you're working like that,
Yeah.
to the best of their interests and going above and beyond, really, is what that comes down to.
Yeah, in fact, the one where the agent lost the key. I don't know how you lose. Well, whatever. They
Yeah.
lost the key. The seller was just so amazed that I just ponied up and just took care of it. He said, no, you don't have to do it. I said, no, you've been inconvenienced.
Yep.
It's on me. I got to
Yep.
take care of it.
Yep.
Oh, that's what, you don't have to do it. I said, I know I don't have to, but I'm doing it because that's what should happen. I should have to.
Yep.
So,
And you did. Yep.
and I did. So there.
And the situation was rectified as quickly as possible because you jumped in right away and you didn't start pointing fingers.
No.
You didn't start,
Who's
Yep.
at fault?
Yep.
Who's
Nope.
going to pay? No,
This was needs to get done. Let's do it.
Let's get this done now.
Yep.
There's too many reasons to. Well, I'm going to talk to my lawyer first. Well, you can, but in the meantime, it's going to be fixed.
Yeah. But wait to get a hold of your lawyer.
Yeah, because
it could be
this
a day
meeting
or two.
runs a lot faster and for a lot more money.
Yep.
I know my daughter's always reminding me, she says, Dad, they're going to have to charge you if you ask me another question.
It's true.
Yeah, so
It's very true.
but yeah, interest rates are whatever. I mean, and I'm seeing interest rates are not becoming a factor anymore. People just are accepting this what it is. Suck it up, and they'd rather do that and get a higher interest rate than they were expecting or wanted, rather than waiting for the price to go up.
Yes, because it's just
the price is going to go up a lot faster than the interest rate.
Yep, absolutely. And we still don't know. We've heard how many times this year we're going to drop. So yeah, it is so out of our hands and unpredictable. If you're waiting for that, you could be waiting for a very long time.
It's not a commodity. It's a necessity. If you want bread, you got to pay the price of bread. Now, I can go to Wegmans and they had a loaf of bread the other day was $9.
Whoa.
And I said, yeah, I don't think I'm going to buy that. It's like had a million sprouts in it and all this kind of stuff. It was really good.
Yep.
It just sort of boggled my mind. So, but I did buy bread, and I make bread, and my bread is probably better than the bread. But I want to just buy it. Yeah, but not the $9 one.
Yeah, it's where you got to draw the line somewhere.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, I did the shoe repair thing. Did I talk about the shoe repair?
No.
Thing? Half soles and half heels. How much?
Nowadays?
If you can find, a cobbler.
Yeah, cobbler probably, I would think just the time and labor would be more than the actual price of the material. So probably like $150.
Wow, no. Well, move $75.
Wow. Okay, so it's
I mean, really, I don't think I paid $75 for the shoes.
Wow.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And then you got to find somebody that's willing to do it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any around here.
There's one. No, not in the city.
No.
No, because it's based on rent, and the rents are too high in the city.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know how the shoemakers sustain themselves as it was.
Yeah.
And one of the things whenever I go back to New York City, I see neighborhoods changing again, because what's happened. First, they became yuppified, right? First, they had the gentrifiers, then they had the yuppies come in, and now these neighborhoods that were really not good, which became great neighborhoods with the fancy bars and all.
Oh yeah, Astoria and all that. Yep.
Now they're being pushed out by the chains, like not Rite Aid necessarily, but Rite Aid was one of the ones. Rite Aid just went on. They just went out of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, they take out
Dwayne something.
Dwayne Reed.
Yeah, Dwayne Reed was a big one down there when I was there.
It was on the corner of Dwayne and Reed Street.
Yep.
With an E on the end.
Yep.
But yeah, so then you're seeing neighborhoods change again, and for whatever reason. But I did also see something else. I've been talking about, all the office buildings that are out there. We have a housing shortage. Why don't we start converting them?
Yeah.
There's 5 major projects in New York City being big high-rise
office buildings are being converted.
High-rise,
wow.
make them residential.
That's great.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. We can get 1,000 units here, and they're going to do like 15, 25% as subsidized.
Wow, that's great.
Well, that's at least a solution, one partial solution, because otherwise they're just in trouble.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
yep. Well, and we have a guy on our team that's purchasing a couple schools, and he's going to convert them into luxury apartments as well.
Really?
Yep. So, and that's locally here in Western New York.
Yeah.
We need to think outside the box with our buildings that are rotting.
That's real estate development, but it's development in a different way than we've been
discussing. Yeah.
Discussing.
Yep.
Well, in a way that we grown up with.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, when I was a kid, no one had a loft.
Yeah, no.
And now everyone's going, oh, you gotta have a loft. Loft is cool. So let me get this straight. I get empty space, no kitchen, and I got to put it in. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's what you get.
That's
But you can put it anywhere you want.
Anywhere you want. It's your money. You don't even mind.
Yep.
So that's kind of what's going on.
Yeah.
And I thought that was worth sharing. But the reasonable care thing, our reasonable care is Russell Salvatore's reasonable care is different from somebody else's.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
Can't argue that fact.
Yeah.
Yep.
There may be other restaurants that you prefer better, but on service, he has set that bar high.
He really has. And yeah, and he's been a massive contributor locally.
So one quick story.
Yep.
One quick story. I was having dinner at Aqua a couple of years ago.
On the water, yep.
And I got my wine, and I ordered a bottle, and they did the thing with the pour. And I grabbed the glass, and just as I was about to bring it to us, the lady took the glass out of my hand, and she said, "No, I'm sorry, I have to give you another bottle." I said, "Well, why?" And I did the cork thing and all that, and she says, "Because a tiny piece of cork broke and went into the glass." And I said, "Oh, excuse me." I said, "Watch this." And she said, "Oh my God! Oh no! I can never." So don't give me a shot. I said, "Can you tell us? Would you actually have meatballs that would send this freaking thing back?" And they said, "Oh yes, of course." I'm thinking, "Oh man, what trips?"
Of course,
please. And I said, "You know what? I bet you probably can remember the most difficult service you ever, most difficult patron you ever had." And she says, "Oh yes." I said, "Really?" I said, "You know their name?" And she says, "Yes, Russell Salvatore."
Yeah.
She says, "Oh well, that makes sense."
Can't imagine.
He wanted it his way.
Yeah, and only his way, right?
And his way was reasonable care for him, but it wouldn't be for anybody else. This guy's who just taking the cork out.
Yeah, and he was so highly trained, and just honed.
Yeah, some of the guys that work there, you get it, and they love working with him.
Yeah,
because he's tough.
Yeah,
gets it done.
Yeah.
Take it away.
So please like, follow, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in, and let us know if we can talk about anything that you would like us to discuss on the show.
Yeah, like he says, give us the questions. See if we can stump the stars.